Well, when it comes to House of the Dragon, there's only one important question that I think deserves to be answered. So, like, do you think Alicent is more attractive, or does Rhaenyra's whole Dommy Mommy thing do it for you?
You're a sexist, misogynist dinosaur. A relic of the Cold War.
Go ahead and shout out your typical ist bullshit in the comments section, feminist. I do not care. Anyway, I know I'm a day behind on covering House of the Dragon, but my Supergirl review rattled more jimmies than I thought it would, and I've been answering hundreds of comments over the last day or so. But I'm here now, and I am fucking confused. I see a lot of online talk saying that Sunday's episode was arguably the best one of the series so far, and I must be missing something here because I thought it was kind of stupid. There were some great moments, alright, don't get me wrong, but a lot of that shit didn't make any sense. Let's go on ahead and talk about it. The writers once again fucked up in the opening 3 seconds because just like I predicted, Jace's body was recovered from the Battle of the Gullet when it shouldn't have been.
God, son of a bitch!
What was the purpose of this? In the damn book, his body sinks to the bottom of the ocean, which provides Rhaenyra with zero closure, turning her even more tyrannical through sheer anger and grief. But here, recovering his body seems like nothing more than an excuse to snot all over him with some of the worst acting that I've seen since Supergirl this past weekend. I gotta tell you, there's ugly crying, and then there's whatever this is. And what is she doing here? Attempting necromancy? Trying to use the Force? I make the same hand motions when I'm trying to drunkenly stumble down my hallway to take a piss at 3 a.m.
Julian!
Not Nettles gets limited screen time this episode, thank fuck, because I can't describe to you in English or Valerian how much I hate this character. But the couple of minutes she does get is of course filled with weapons-grade retardation. Sheepstealer has already shown that he's unruly by flat out not listening to you, killing hundreds of your own people and attributing to the death of your prince, and your dumbass just rolled up to the ear like he wasn't capable of murdering everyone there too.
What are you, retarded?
How does she even get away from the battle unscathed anyway? Bela saw most of what Sheepstealer did, so you would think she'd pursue him in some capacity to get some answers, but I guess not, because that would be inconvenient to the plot. You wouldn't know it, but one of the bloodiest battles in the entire story happened this episode. But just like the Battle of the Burning Mill last season, it all happened off screen to make room for a bunch of stupid shit that makes no sense. Like Lord Jasper, approaching Alicent and accusing her of treason right before whipping his winky out right then and there and trying to rape her.
I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
What was the fucking point of this? Like, we get it already, okay? Men suck. And even though there's thousands of people dying left and right, misogyny is the greatest evil. But this was just cheap and lazy. Instead of giving Jasper some actual agency and a political reason for us to hate him, the show just throws in a gratuitous assault scene as a shortcut to moral condemnation, so that when he's brought in front of Rhaenyra later on, we hate the guy, we don't care if he dies.
If he dies, he dies.
Since we don't get one of the best fighting sequences in the book with the fish feed, Daemon is hanging out in the Riverlands doing Daemon things, which, to be honest, I couldn't be more appreciative of, because I was going to go shit in Ryan Condal's mailbox, again, if he kept the guy in a holding pattern with dumbass hallucinations like he did last season. I still don't understand why they did that in season 2. It never happens in the book, it does next to nothing for his character in the show. I guess he got too popular throughout season 1, and since he's a male character, we can't have that. Anyway, Daemon receives word from Rhaenyra through one of her messengers that apparently has unlocked that later season Game of Thrones fast travel, that Prince Jace is dead and that he should come back to Dragonstone as quickly as he can. Now, if you wanted a scene that perfectly depicts the bastardization of classic medieval fantasy stories by modern Hollywood, look no further.
Fuck.
Every one of these damn characters, Bela, Adam of Hull, the Sea Snake, and his son, are race swapped from being pale white in the book to black in the show because, of course they were. And they all share this one isolated sequence like it's a big fuck you to OG fans. Hey now, at least we got the famous, "If this be victory, I pray I never win another" line. Even though it comes across hollow as all hell like he said it just so we'd go. Daemon slaps Ulf the way I wish George R.R. Martin would slap the executives at HBO for fucking up his book, and it's here that we learn the dragon seeds did go to the Battle of the Gullet after all. It just once again happened off screen like every damn thing else. I brought this up in my episode 1 recap and analysis. Hugh and Ulf being present during the Battle of the Gullet, seeing all that death and destruction firsthand provides some depth and psychological backing to their eventual betrayal of Rhaenyra at the Battle of First Tumbleton. But so far, we know next to nothing about these two characters other than Ulf is a bit of a greedy, self-serving asshole, which means when they do deceive her, it's not going to mean anything.
Well, what does that have to do with anything?
No. He's got a point.
Not to mention, but by this point, Rhaenyra should hate the dragon seeds. After all, they're a symbol of Jace's involvement in the war, but she doesn't say a damn word to them in this scene, which, once again, cuts out a lot of the emotion and relationship she has with them that later influences their treason. Look, House of the Dragon, this is a big deal, okay? You've got to get us invested in this storyline, damn it. You've got to let us know these two men, what drives them, what makes them feel the way that they feel, so that the eventual arc of betrayal actually lands with some appropriate force. But why do all of that when you can waste more time on more bullshit that never happens in the book and soaks up some of that precious budget that's been the biggest excuse as to why the show has changed a bunch of stuff? Like, look at these fucking idiots right here. No worries, guys. It's just a gigantic fire-breathing dragon. Just stand there and let the thing incinerate you. No biggie.
Are you retarded?
For the life of me, I don't know why Aemon lowers his guard during this scene either. He's an experienced fighter that ought to know better than to turn his back on an enemy combatant in any capacity, but he does here for whatever reason, and promptly gets stabbed before crawling towards the witch lady who has done nothing but remind us how terrible season 2 was.
Why won't you die?
Rhaenyra sure did move on from Jace's death pretty quickly though, didn't she? I don't know about you guys, but when those guards at King's Landing confronted her and Daemon prior to entering the throne room, I fully expected her to absolutely lose it. You know, take out some of that anger and grief on them, but she just stands there and lets Daemon do all the work. This is what I was talking about earlier with Jace's body being recovered instead of sinking to the bottom of the ocean. Since Rhaenyra gets closure, she can move through her grief pretty quickly, which the show does lay out for us with a bedroom scene where Daemon talks some sense into her, a meeting with the War Council, mustering the dragon seeds, and the eventual flight to King's Landing. But we never really get to see the fallout of his death outside of her, well, ugly crying for a bit. Anyway, the gold curtain turned on King's Landing, helping Daemon and Rhaenyra claim the throne room, and naturally the show had to fuck up one of the best lines in the book again. Why? Because they've got characters in places they shouldn't be, doing shit they shouldn't be doing. See, Egwene Hightower is off with Kristen Cole in the show, but in the book he's very much still at King's Landing, acting as the second in command of the Gold Curtain. He's the one that actually discovers Commander Largent has defected to Daemon's side, when he stopped from raising the landing's alarm by him, which is where the "Daemon gave us these cloaks and they're gold no matter what" line comes from. In the show, though, a similar line is said, but it lands with all the impact of a left hook from Peter Dinklage. So Rhaenyra kills Otto Hightower, who's been hanging out in a nearby prison cell. Lord Rapey gets executed by Daemon, and she claims the throne before the episode cuts to black. I couldn't help but notice that it didn't cut her, by the way, which does happen in the book to signify the throne rejecting her in some capacity. But here, it doesn't. Just like the show, the throne can't reject female characters because they're supposed to be awesome. Alright, look, jokes aside, is some shit happening in the House of the Dragon? Yes. Is it better than Season 2? Absolutely. But I do not understand where people are getting the idea that this was arguably the best episode of the series. The show is deviating too much and doing too little with those changes, to the point I completely understand where George R.R. Martin is coming from when he said, "This isn't my story any longer." If you don't know the source material, truly, I envy you, because at face value, the show might be alright. But I think I speak for a lot of the book readers when I say, it could be so much better. We know. We've read it. Anyway, I appreciate y'all for checking out my review. I'll talk to y'all later.